Good morning guys, I'm Chris and welcome back to another episode of Rift Amps. Just had this thing turn up through the door. This is a probably 1980s, I'll have to check, Marshall MOSFET 100 Reverb Twin. Think JCM 800 but all solid state, and they do sound really good. For the price you pay for these, you get an awful lot of tones. So if you see one, it's worth picking up. And this particular one is in incredible condition. It's a really nice amp. He has changed one of the speakers out, which we'll look at in a second. But he's brought it in because he gave it an electrolytic capacitor recap. So he's replaced all of those. Can't talk today. And since he's done that, he's not getting any output from one of the channels, or very low output. So we need to investigate that. He did say he managed to fry one of the circuit board traces, which he has repaired, but we'll inspect that and make sure it's all good. So our first job, as always, is to remove the chassis and get this thing a visual inspection. So with the chassis removed from the cabinet, we can give it an inspection. First thing we notice is that it's got a Drake transformer, number 78966-6. Nice. These are the speaker connections. These are the reverb connections. Obviously, being a solid-state amplifier, there's no output valves. So we've got the output transistors mounted on this nice large heatsink. Obviously then connected itself to the large chassis, so lots of heat dissipation there, which is a good thing. So we'll just flip it over and we'll have a look. So here we go. So he's put a label in to say when he recapped it, which ones he replaced on the rear board. It's good to know. We can see those output transistors through these cutouts in the chassis. That's a really cool way of doing it. So he's obviously replaced some bits, but we're going to pull the rear board, have a look at the underside, see if we can see anything that's going on that's obvious, even before I plug this thing in and look at it on an oscilloscope. Apart from that, we just give it a sweep over. It's in remarkable condition. No signs of anything that's burnt or that's been getting hot. All looks to be really nice. It's a good score, this amp. Right, anyway, I'm going to pull this board, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the underside. So I'm just taking the nuts off the back here, and I just caught out of my eye that this pot here has been replaced. If you look at all the others, they've got quite a long shaft and it uses a nut to space it correctly against the chassis, but this one is a lot shorter. VR6, so we have to look up what's going on there. Is that the cause of our problem? What does VR6 do? VR6 is the mid pot, so I doubt that that's the problem, but very interesting. Okay, board is out and looking underneath. I can't see anything of concern other than here, where you can see that solder pad was taken off, so he's bridged it across to its other connection. And all you have to do is just with continuity check. I can't do this one-handed. You can buzz those out, which I've done to confirm that they are actually okay. So I'm happy with that board. I don't see anything obvious on there. Now what I need to do is look at the schematic, which he kindly printed off and laminated for me. So we'll be able to study the schematic, work out our signal flow, reassemble all this together, stick it on the bench, inject a signal in the front end, trace it through, and find out where that signal's dropping out. Okay, this is a second-hand wheelhouse that has been part exchanged in at Coda Music in Stevenage in the UK. They've sent it back to me for a check over, a service, and for some reason it was missing its rear plate, so we've just put a new one on there. Make sure that's all good. Been through it, checked it all out, it's running great, all reassembled, give the cab a bit of a clean up and a tidy up, and that's one very, very nice wheelhouse 1x12 combo. So if you're interested, it will be up for sale at Coda Music as a second-hand unit. 40 watts, American tones, American Nashville tones, that sort of thing. Volume, treble, middle bass, and 2-knob reverb. Really simple amplifier, sounds incredible. And this particular one, as it's one of my new favourite speakers, actually does have a Celestion A-type in it, which is great. So, yeah. So if you're interested in this, get in touch with Coda Music and they will happily sort you out. First of all, I'm really, really sorry. I've come down with a winter cold, so I know I'm going to sound funny on these videos. That can be triggering for some people, so I do apologise. But, you know, I've still got to work. Anyway, do you remember a couple of months ago I did a PR, I think it was a PR18 in this, I call it BRG, British Racing Green. Its actual name is, I think it's Green Emerald or something like that. Well, that proved to be so popular that I've got a couple more of them. I've got a couple more PR orders, sorry, on the list in this green. And I do like it. So, today's job is just need to get this drilled for the chassis, fit the handle, get the speaker and reverb tank and the cabinet dressed, all ready for the chassis. That build is complete. Faceplates are in the post to me, so we can get this one finished and done and out the door rather soon, which is good news. But yeah, this green stuff is proving to be actually really popular. It's a great combination, the green with the basket weave with the gold. People seem to love that. So yeah, nice combination. This one's getting a Celestion A-type speaker, which I really, really like. I know I've mentioned it before, but for Celestion to kind of smash that American voicing out of the park, it's great news because they've needed to do something like that for a while. It's got good power handling at 50 watts, so you can put it in a lot of things, and it just works. It just works as a really nice speaker for this style of amplifier. So that's what's going in this. Right, let's crack on. So fast forward about an hour or so, and we've got the chassis mounting holes drilled, the handle installed, the Celestion speaker installed. We've made up a nice speaker cable for that and hardwired them. And on this particular one, I've actually decided to go for the 3-spring short tank rather than the long tank. Just because the customer's already got a PR6 and this is going to be a PR18. So he wanted something that's slightly different. So we're going to give him a slightly different reverb sound, just so he's got some variety there. It's different enough that it's noticeable, but in a good way, but not different enough that it's too far and that you end up missing the original reverb sound. So it's a good thing to try. It's more of a preference thing rather than anything else. If he doesn't like it, absolutely no problem. We'll send him out another tank and he can fit the full size one. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do with that. But that cabinet is now ready and also shielded the roof. There you go. And we can, when the faceplates are here, get the chassis installed and this thing is done. And I've just had this one turn up with the postman. This is another Ainsley Lister signature combo, the one that we're building for the Doctor. So the cabinet has now finally arrived. The speaker's here as two. So what I've got to do is all the cabinet prep on this. Again, drill the holes, fit the handle, speaker, reverb tank, all that type of thing. Get that sorted. Then I can get the thing finally assembled. Ainsley can come and sign it off, and then the customer can have it. But this one has just turned up. It's looking great. I mean, the finish on them now is just superb. So hats off to my cabinet builder. He's just getting better and better. Every single one that comes through is just absolutely brilliant. Cannot complain whatsoever. So yeah, good news. Right, I'm going to crack on and get this prepped. Okay, so back on the MOSFET 100. So I've been going through the schematic. What I've done is I've got the amplifier on the bench. We're injecting the signal into channel A, which is the one that wasn't working. And I scoped it, the signal, all the way through to find the point where it stopped working. A couple of things I've noticed. We had signal coming out of IC2A right here. The signal would appear here, but would not be here. And this says, well, it looks like R48, but it's actually R40. And then the signal would disappear, and that's where it was gone. So it wasn't appearing at R41 and onwards into the amp. This capacitor, this 100 microfarad capacitor has been replaced. And the trace was broken here, connecting C33, to the schematic calls it TR4, but it's actually TR6, transistor number 6, or that's how it's labelled on the board. And this broken trace was repaired with a jumper wire on the underside of the board. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite right. The repair wasn't perfect, so I've gone ahead and fixed that. And now we have full output from that channel. So there you go. Just going to keep soak testing it, keep it going, but more PCB problems, more poor repairs, or repairs that weren't quite right, I think is the best way to put it. But yeah, this MOSFET is running fine now. Nothing to worry about. So we'll soak test it, and then we'll button it all up, back together, customer can have it back. Job done. Right, so the Blackhawk build is done, as in it's on the test bench, got a signal running through it, all working fine. Actually really happy with the result. Got a couple of little bits I want to tidy up before it goes out the door. It's currently wired for 240 volt, just need to switch it to 230 volt once it's finished soak testing, burning in. But yeah, I'm really happy with the result. Tonally, it's fantastic. It's exactly where I wanted it to be, which is fantastic. Haven't got anything to worry about. All the valves are burning in, running great. So that's the Blackhawk, which is going off to Norway. Plates are here for it, so I'm just waiting on the cabinet and the speaker, and then that one can go. But yeah, thumbs up for the Blackhawk. If you go back a couple of videos, you'll remember we had this in for quite a bit of work. This is the one that came from South Africa. The owner has had it back for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. He's decided to sell it, but it has started making some weird crackling noises on certain notes. So we need to investigate that because he wants to get this thing sold. He has replaced that speaker with an Alessandro GA10, which is a really good choice. Really like these. But we just need to go through it, see if anything's changed since I last looked at it. Put it on the oscilloscope, see what we can find. And get this amplifier back sorted and ready for sale. Okay, so I've got the Princeton chassis on the bench. I've just been looking through it. There's nothing immediately obvious, neither that I can see on the oscilloscope nor physically. So we just go through it and just give everything another double check, see where we are. I've decided, based on some crackles and things that I heard, I'm just going to swap out the plate resistors, the anode resistors, and the slope resistor, the 5 100Ks that sit in the preamp. And what I do, here's the 3 that I've taken out already. They are looking like they've got a little bit toasty, but I do carry in stock some original carbon comps. Exactly the same spec. Side by side. You would not notice the difference. So that's what I'm going to install. You see, look, identical. So we're going to install those. I've given all the sockets and things a further clean just in case it's that. I'm going to, for no other reason than my own curiosity, I'm just going to do a leakage check on this ceramic cap here, and this one here, and this one here. These 3. Just in case they're leaking a little bit of voltage causing problems, but crackling like that is usually either a faulty resistor or a solder joint, or it's a ground connection somewhere. So we're just going through it, see if we can't find where the issue's coming from. So here's the next Ainsley Lister signature build. This one's heading off to North America for a customer who's been waiting very patiently. So he's really looking forward to get this. I've just fired it up this morning. All is working well. Ainsley is coming tomorrow. Today's Thursday. Ainsley's coming Friday to play test it, sign it off. We can tweak it, make any adjustments he thinks necessary. Always trust Ainsley's ears. Once I've done that, it's currently wired for 240 volt. Then we can convert it to 230. No, 120. 120. And then it is stick it in the cabinet and ship it out the door. So yeah, really happy with this. I've just played it. Sounds brilliant, as they always do. If you do want one of these, there is a long build list for them, and they rarely come up second hand. So if you are thinking about getting one, get on the build list, the wait list, as soon as you can. Quicker you do that, the quicker you'll end up with one. I can only build them one at a time, and they do take ages because they are really complicated to get them right. But it is worth it. So yeah, that's a good one. Happy with that. Really happy. So that's almost another one completed. Well, that's it then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a couple of weeks since the last video. I've been incredibly busy. I thought I hadn't filmed much, but actually when I looked at the footage, I had, 15-20 minutes worth. So there you go. Managed to put all this together for you, so you've got something to watch on a Sunday. Please give this video a thumbs up. Comments down below. Hit the notification bell. Please subscribe. The channel's starting to do really well now, and I want to keep growing it. And I shall see you all at the next one.